Good morning everyone. Welcome again. Today we will discuss topic factor facilitating learning. Factor facilitating learning. In this preceding section we examined the specific determinants of learning such as contiguous presentation of CS and US. CS means conditioned stimulus and US means unconditioned stimulus in classical conditioning, as I already discussed with you in classical conditioning. So, number, amount, and delay of reinforcement in operant conditioning, status and attractiveness of models in observational learning, procession and verbal learning, and nature and rules of perceptual feature of objects, events in concept learning. We have already discussed all these types of learning. Now, we shall discuss some general determinants of learning. So, this discussion is not exhaustive, rather, it deals with some slight feature only which are found very important. So, first one is continuous and partial reinforcement. As we have already discussed about schedules of reinforcement in operant conditioning. So, schedules of reinforcement means refer to the frequency and manner in which desired response is reinforced. So, two types in this. Is first one is continuous response reinforcement. Second one is partial reinforcement. So, in continuous reinforcement, reinforcing every correct response, and it's essential during acquisition phase, leads to the most rapid acquisition. Once a correct response consistently occurs, a different reinforcement schedule can be used. And in partial reinforcement, reinforcing some, not all the correct responses. In experiments on learning, the experimenter can arrange to deliver reinforcement according to the specific schedule. In the context of learning, two kinds of schedules, as I told you, continuous and partial, have been found very important. In continuous reinforcement, the participant is given reinforcement after each target response, and this kind of schedule of reinforcement produces a higher rate of responding. However, once the reinforcement is withheld, response rate decreases very quickly, and the responses acquired under this schedule tend to extinguish. Since organism is getting reinforcement on each trial, and the effectiveness of that reinforcer is reduced. In such schedules where reinforcement is not continuous, some responses are not reinforced. They are called partial and or intermediate reinforcement. There are several ways in which one might reinforce responses according to partial. It has been found that partial reinforcement schedule often produce very high rates of responding, particularly when responses are reinforced according to the ratio. In this kind of schedule, an organism often makes several responses. As you can see here about fixed ratio, in that reinforcement given after a set on unvarying of desired responses, and after use in work of commission or rate of production. For example, $10 for every 100 newspapers sold produces the fastest response rate and is effective in increasing workers' output, although response rate is erratic, less resistant to extinction than variable ratio. It means delivery of 4 pellet after every fifth pressing of response lever, that is fixed ratio. Variable ratio reinforcement given after irregular of correct responses, like average of 10 for every 100 is correct responses but randomly given in partial reinforcement. And variable fixed interval means delivery of reinforcer after set period of time after correct response made in continuous responses reinforcement, and variable interval reinforcer given after irregular period after correct response, example on average every 10 seconds but with variation from 4 to 16 seconds, results in a low but steadily response rate. So this is partial and continuous reinforcement. Next one is motivation. All living organisms have survival needs, and human beings in addition have growth and needs. Motivation is a mental as well as a physiological state which arouses an organism to act to fulfilling the current need. Motivation is the heart of learning process. It generates the will in an individual to do something. Two types of motivation are commonly recognized. First is instinct. This type of motivation arises when the resolution of tension is to be found in mastering the learning task itself. The material limb provides its own reward. And extinct means motivation means when a student pursue a learning task but for reasons which are external. If a student engages in construction of model aeroplanes because he thinks it will please his father, who is an ex-pilot, rather than because of instinct motivation, that is extinct motivation. Next one is preparedness for learning. Preparedness for learning, the member of different species are very different from one another in their sensory capacities, responses, abilities. The mechanism necessary for establishing association such as SS or SR also vary from species to species. Yes, it's true. It can be said that species have biological constraints on their learning capacities. The kinds of SS or SR learning an organism can easily acquire depends on the associative mechanism it is genetically endowed with or prepared for. A particular kind of associative learning is easy for apes or human beings but may be extremely difficult and sometimes impossible for cats and rats. Yes, it implies that one can learn only those associations for which one is genetically prepared. And the concept of preparedness may be best understood as a continuum of dimension on one end of which are those learning tasks or association which are easy for the member of some species, and on the other end are those learning tasks for which those members are not prepared to at all, cannot learn them. In the middle of continuum fall those tasks and association for which members are neither prepared nor unprepared. They can learn such tasks but only with great difficulty and persistence. So these are some determinants that we have discussed today. Next time we will move further. Thank you.